let us continue our social science class, how, when and where. How, when and where. In the last class, means in the previous class, we studied about the dates, why dates are important for history. In today's class, we are going to learn about the periodization of Indian history as well as what is colonial. How do we periodize our history? Let us know about this. How do we periodize our history? In 1817, James Mill, a Scottish economist and political philosopher, published a massive 3-volume work, A History of British India. In the year 1817, a Scottish economist and political philosopher is named James Mill. James Mill is a Scottish economist and political philosopher. He written and published a massive work. It contained 3 volumes. It is called A History of British India. A History of British India. It is a massive 3-volume book or work published by James Mill. He is a Scottish economist and political philosopher. In the year 1817, James Mill published a 3-volume massive book called A History of British India. In this book or in this work, James Mill divided Indian history into 3 periods. In the work called A History of British India, James Mill divided Indian history into 3 periods. They are Hindu, Muslim and British. Hindu, Muslim and British. These are the 3 periods which was divided or categorized by James Mill in the year 1817 in his book or in his massive 3-volume work called A History of British India. The name only tells us that the work which tells us about the history of British rule, isn't it? A History of British India. It is the name of the work which published by James Mill. The title of the work tells us about the information which it contained is regarding to the British rule in India, isn't it? Yes. In this work he divided Indian history into 3 periods. They are Hindu, Muslim and British. Let us know why dividing history is important or why do we periodize? What is necessary to do so or what is the significance of periodize or divide the history? Periodize means to divide history into periods. Okay. Yes, here James Mill divided the Indian history into 3 periods, isn't it? They are Hindu, Muslim and British. And let us know about why do we periodize or what is the necessary of that or what is the significance or important of that. Why do we try and divide history into different periods? Because we do so in an attempt to capture the characteristics of a time. It is an attempt to capture the characteristics of a time and they reflect our ideas about the past. Periodize helps us to know about the past. Why do we periodize history into different periods? Because it's an attempt to capture the characteristics of a time. It tells us about to know or to capture the events or characteristics or features of a time which relating to a particular period or which related to a particular time, era and all. And periodize helps us to know about the past. It reflects our ideas about the past. Because of periodize the history into different periods or different times, it tells us about the ideas about the past. What was happened in the past period and how was the lifestyles of the people who lived during that time and all. These ideas we get to know through the periodization of a history. As well as periodization shows how we see the significance of the change from one period to the next. It not only reflects the time of the past or the characteristics of past, it also tells us about the changes. It also shows how we see the significance of the change from one period to the next. For example, in the early civilization, how was the people lived, and later what was happened, or in the pre-independence day, or in the as well as after the independence, means pre-independence era as well as in the post-independence era, what was the difference or what were the changes has been took place during that time. Mill thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe because he wrote the history, means Indian history, as per the perspective of British. Okay, yes, because he is an European. So he written Indian history in the British perspectives, and he thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. And according to his telling of history, before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslim despots ruled the country, and religious intolerance, caste taboos, and superstitious practices dominated social life in India. He thought that all societies in Asia were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. Means Europe was progressed in civilization, but Asian societies or regions of Asia or places of Asian continents were lower level of civilization than Europe. And according to Mill, he thought that history, means history of India, it is like in the darkness. Means before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslim despots ruled the country. As per Mill's saying, there was no a proper ruler or king ruled India, because before the arrival of British to India, there was a Hindu and Muslim despots ruled. Means either Hindu or Muslim ruler who ruled India unjustly, means cruelly. And there was no superpower or there was no genuine or powerful ruler who ruled India as per the thought of Mill. And he also thought that in India during that time, means the time when Hindu or Muslim rulers ruled over India cruelly, during that time there were so many Crucial practices were dominated India, like religious intolerance. Means between Hindu and Muslim, there was a religious intolerance. There was no unity among the people of two religions or communities, as well as there was a caste taboos. Caste system was deep rooted during that time, as well as some of the superstitious practices like child marriage and some more superstitious beliefs were practiced, as well as they were dominated during that time of social life of the people of India. And Mill felt that British rule could civilize India. Mill felt that British rule could civilize India because, as per his saying, Europe was civilized so many years before India, and they were at a supreme level of civilization than Indian people. So, British rule could civilize India, and to do so, or to do this, it was necessary to introduce European manners, arts, and institutions and laws in India. Mill felt like that, so he told that only British rule can civilize India, and it only possible to civilize India. And because of that, it was very necessary to introduce some of the British customs as well as their European manners and even their arts as well as their institutions and laws to govern India. He stated these in his 3-volume work called A History of British India. And Mill, in fact, suggested that the British should conquer all the territories in India to ensure the enlightenment and happiness of the Indian people. According to Mill, British should conquer all the territories in India, all the regions and places in India, because to ensure the enlightenment and happiness for the cause of Indian people. He thought like that because India was not civilized like Europe. So it was very necessary to introduce some of the British customs or European manners. It's like arts and institutions and their beliefs as well as laws in India. And he also felt that British should conquer all the territories in India because to ensure the enlightenment and happiness of the Indian people. And for India was not capable of progress without British help. He thought like that because of British's only India can progress. India was able to gain progress with the help of British, and hence British should conquer India as well as they should ensure all the manners as well as customs of them, and hence for India was not capable of progress without the help of British, and it is very necessary to help India. Means as per his thought, British can help for the progress of India because India was not capable of that much. He thought like that, and for India was not capable of progress without British help, so British should conquer all the territories of India as well as they should implies all the manners, customs and all, and they should introduce some of the new laws and institutions. Hence India can get civilization as well as India become capable of progress or for the development purpose. He thought like that. As per this idea of history, according to Mill, British rule represented all the forces of progress and civilization. In the 3-volume work of Mill, it suggested the idea of Indian history that British rule represented all the forces of progress and civilization. He suggested that British rule is very necessary and important for India to gain the progress as well as development and even to gain the civilization. He told that British rule reflected all the forces of progress and civilization. And then it is very important to question ourselves, or it is very important to think ourselves that the period before British rule was one of darkness. Can such a conception or concept be accepted today? Just think for a while. The answer is definitely no. India was not in the darkness before the British rule, because India was prosperous even before the arrival of British, or even before they gained rule in India, isn't it? Because India was very much prosperous and British invaded India by seeing the glory of India, and they invaded India for the trading purposes and all. We knew that. So we can proudly give the answer that India was not in the darkness before the arrival of British, but history of India written as per the British perspectives, and it tells us that India was in one of darkness before the British rule, and it was not that much civilized, and it needed the civilization of Europe, and British rule can civilize India and all. That's it. Moving away from British classification, historians have usually divided Indian history into 3 periods. Moving away from the British classification, historians have usually divided and classified Indian history into 3 periods, that is ancient, medieval and modern. Ancient, medieval and modern, these were the 3 periods divided or classified by the historians. Indian history has been divided or classified by the historians into 3 periods, that is ancient, medieval and modern. Ancient, medieval and modern. But this division too has its own problems, because it is a periodization by the historians that is borrowed from the West, where the modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity. As I said before, Indian history was published by James Mill as per the British perspectives, and historians divided Indian history into 3 periods. Even that also has its own problem, because it is a periodization that is borrowed from the West. Where modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity in the West. Means the forces of modernity includes some more factors like science, technology, reason, democracy, liberty and equality. These were the forces of modernity, and these forces of modernity associated with the growth, and these were the factors of modernity, or forces of modernity were existed in the West. So this periodization of Indian history has been borrowed from the West by the historians. And medieval. The term medieval was a term used to describe a society where the modern features or the features of modern society did not exist in India. In West, there was a growth in the forces of modernity. There was a growth in science, reason, democracy, liberty, and equality. These were the forces of modernity existed in the West, but it was not existed in India during that time. And the term medieval was used to describe a society where the features of modernity existed in the modern society like West, but these were the factors do not existed in India during that time. So, how it possible to divide Indian history into the periods like medieval and modern if those factors were not at all exist during that time? These were the classification or division divided or classified by the historians because these were the factors which were borrowed from the West. So, once again, the Indian history were in the perspective of West. And even under the British rule, people didn't have equality, freedom, or liberty in India, and nor was the period one of economic growth and progress. We cannot accept the fact that Indian history divided into three periods like ancient, medieval, and modern in a simple manner because though as we accept the fact that Indian history was categorized into these three periods like ancient, medieval, and modern, but the features of these three periods not at all exist in India, and even during the period of British rule was also in India, people didn't have any equality or freedom and even the liberty, and nor was the period was one of the economic growth or progress exist in India. So it was not able to accept that these terms were related or associated with the periodization of India as per the Indian views or opinions. And many historians therefore refer the British period in India as colonial. So many historians refer the rule of British during the period of their rule in India, it was colonial. Many historians refer the period of British in India as colonial because during the rule of British, people didn't have equality, freedom or liberty, and even there was no economic growth and progress existed in India. Let us know what is colonial. The periodization of Indian history only tells us that the British came to conquer the country and established their rule, and they start to subjugating local Nawabs and Rajas of India and all. And even how they established control over the economy and society, and how they start to collected revenue to meet all their expenses, and how they bought the goods they wanted at low prices, and how they produced crops they needed for export, and how they started their trade and how they succeed in their strategies and all, isn't it? Yes. British came to India and they start to conquer the India, or they start to conquer the country, and they start to establish their rule as per their point of view, and they start to subjugating means forcibly impose obedience, or they start to start to control over the places or the areas or the people of India, or the Nawabs or Rajas of India, and hence they start to make the local Nawabs or Rajas as their slave, and the Nawabs or Rajas or the rulers of India being in the state of being a slave or slavery. And even British established control over the economy and the societies of India, and even they start to collected revenue to meet all their expenses, and the Indian kings or Nawabs or Rajas, they have to pay the revenue to them, and even Britishers bought the goods they wanted at low prices, and even they produced crops they needed for the export purpose, and even like that they start to make some of the changes that came about as their consequence in India. The changes British rule brought about in values and taste, customs and practices, and when the subjugation of one country by another leads to these kinds of political, economic, social and cultural changes, we refer to the process as colonization or colonial. When the subjugation of one country by another when the subjugation of one country by another leads to these kinds of political, economic, social and cultural changes, we refer to the process as colonization or colonial rule of British. What happened? British established their rule over the country, and they start to make so many changes as per their point of view and as per their strategies, and totally the changes brought about British values and taste, and they imposed their custom, taste, values and practices among the people of the country. And when the subjugation of one country by another means the rule or the control has been imposed by one country by another, means here the Britishers or the British rule control the power of India or other countries, and these kinds of changes leads in the way of political, economic, social and cultural changes. It may be political power, it may be economic growth, as well as it may be social changes, as well as it may be on the terms of cultural changes, and they means like their traditions, their values and their customs or practices, values, taste and all. In these aspect, there has been changes took place during their subjugation, and we refer to this process as colonization. We refer or we call this process as colonization or colonial rule of the British. Let's once again recall the points which we studied today's class. In 1817, James Mill, a Scottish economist or political philosopher, published a 3-volume work called A History of British India. In that, he divided Indian history into 3 periods, that is Hindu, Muslim and British. And why do we periodize Indian history? Means because it's an attempt to capture the characteristics of a time, as well as it reflects the past ideas and all, and it shows how we see the importance or the changes from one period to the next. And even Mill felt that British rule could only civilize India, and it was very necessary to introduce the European or the British manners arts institutions as well as laws in India, and he thought that the idea of history should represent the ideas of British rule. They are the only main forces of progress and civilization of India. And moving away from British classifications, historians divided Indian history into three periods. They are ancient, medieval, and modern, and these concepts as well borrowed from the West. And later, as we know, the term colonial means the changes of the British rule which were brought about in values, taste and customs and practices, and they start to subjugate a country by another, that leads to some of the kinds of changes in the political, economic, social as well as in the cultural aspects. This process is referred or called as colonization. Yes, dear children, I hope you understood today's class. Thank you.